Hi, I'm very sweaty. I'm also using WD-40 as a microphone, but my name is Justin Glowacki, and I'm going to be your host for today's episode of Old Traditions. I'm taking a 2-hour drive down to Scranton, Pennsylvania to talk to John Sokolowski about his memories of Scranton, PA. But first, before we get there, we have to drive there, so let's take that trip down. So, I may have forgotten to record my trip down here, but here I am in Scranton, PA, at the Radisson Hotel, ready to talk to John.
Yes, there's been major changes throughout northeastern Pennsylvania, especially in Scranton. In my early days, I remember my mother taking me on the last train out of Scranton, Pennsylvania at the Erie-Lackawanna Station, which is now the Radisson Hotel in Scranton, and going to beautiful New York City. It was a very tragic experience because when I got to New York, I had an upset stomach from the train ride, and there was a gentleman cleaning his windows. I think it was called a haberdasher or a clothing store, and I threw up all over his beautifully cleaned windows. I happen to have a hobby of model railroading, and I belong to a railroad club in Dallas, Pennsylvania, called the Back Mountain Railroad Club, which is in the Twin Stacks building, another small community in northeastern Pennsylvania. We recreate actual scenery of turn of the century throughout northeastern Pennsylvania. We also had an idea before the COVID crisis hit to put together a scenery, a setting, if you will, of the first block of Lackawanna, and that was called the wholesale block at the turn of the century. The wholesale block has since been torn down, and today it is a transportation hub for buses. But in its day, it had a lot of merchants that were very, very active in that first block. Yeah, let's do it. So all this used to be the wholesale block. So the trains would come in the back. Are you still filming? Okay. The trains would come into the back of the wholesale block, unload their produce, and it would go right into the houses, I should say stores, where it would be stored. The way that it would work is they would have cellars that were 3 deep, and they would have ice trucks that would come from the Pocono region and dump ice into the basements, and the cooling of the ice kept all the fruits and vegetables A-okay. Now we could actually walk in here if you want some shots of into Steamtown, this part right here.
Like the mall?
Not the mall. Well, we could go in the mall too if you want, but right over here is all the trains and how they repair them.
Yeah, let's go over there.
Okay. There's one guy. They'll probably chase us, so we can't get too close. But this is Steamtown today, and it's an active rail yard. Most of it is historic in nature, and this is part of the Erie-Lackawanna Hudson rail system, taking it straight to Lehigh Valley.
And this goes to right where we just were eating breakfast, right?
Correct. This will take you right straight to the Erie-Lackawanna train station, which was a passenger only, and this is for fruits and vegetables over the years.
Oh, well,
okay.
They're pointing at us now, so
Yeah.
we should probably get out of here.
Yeah, good idea.
This is extremely dangerous. No trespassing.
There you go.
Well, after our intense escape from the train police, John and I decided to part ways. I'd like to thank John for coming out and talking to me in Scranton, Pennsylvania. It was nice hearing about the wholesale block and his trip to New York City. Come back next week to hear another episode of Old Traditions. I was your host, Very Sweaty Justin, signing out. Have a good one, guys.